I love the Drake.
How could you not like the Drake?
Who's the Drake?
Who's the Drake?
The Drake is good.
Hey, and welcome to the Step Over Podcast, Ottawa's grassroots soccer podcast. My name is Josh. Thank you so much for joining. In this episode, we're talking with the Drake. That's Ottawa's Zach Drake. He's a fullback whose career has taken him around the world, and now he's landed with Electric City FC. That's the new League One Ontario side down in Peterborough. And I love what ECFC has been doing. They've said outright they want to be in the CPL, and I think that's what makes their project such an interesting one, because Peterborough might not be a town that most people would think about when they think of a potential landing spot for a professional sports team. There's maybe 100,000 people there, but they've been doing a lot of things right. Their branding is unbelievable. You need to see their kits. It's got this lightning bolt going across the front. It's fantastic. The marketing has been unbelievable. They're so visible in Peterborough, and they recently hosted their home openers for the men's and women's sides. The men's side had just over 1,500 people on hand to watch, and the women's side had just over 1,000 people. And this is Division 3 soccer in Canada. That is, quite frankly, amazing. And I would love to see, Electric City just become wildly successful, because all of a sudden, how many other similar sized towns in Canada might look at that and say, hey, maybe we can do that too, where before they may not have thought that. All of a sudden, you might not be looking at just the Halifaxes, the St. John's, the London Ontarios, the Quebec cities in terms of CPL expansion. Instead, maybe you expand that. You think about Kamloops, Niagara Falls, Cape Breton, Grand Prairie, Blainville. You get the idea. If you start getting more communities thinking that hosting, being home to a professional soccer club could actually be viable, you're changing the entire landscape of Canadian soccer, like fundamentally changing the mentality of the sport in this country. So Zach is just one of a few players with Electric City with Ottawa connections. He's from here. Both Abby and Emma Steen are from Ottawa as well on the women's side. And Haley Walsh plays for the University of Ottawa GGs. So that's definitely a League One Ontario side that I'm going to be keeping my eye on. And hey, it's not a long drive. I might be able to get down and see a game. So I was really excited to chat with Zach Drake, learn about him, learn about his career, and learn about Electric City. So here it is, my chat with Zach Drake.
I love the Drake.
How could you not like the Drake?
Who's the Drake?
I'm joined by Zach Drake, a fullback from Ottawa, currently playing for maybe my favorite League One Ontario side, Electric City FC in Peterborough. Zach, welcome to the show. It's great to meet you.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Before I ask any questions, before we start, you mentioned that you're actually living in a cottage with a bunch of your teammates. How is that going?
Yeah, so when we first came into preseason, they put us up in two nice cottages beside each other on a lake. And it's been a really cool bonding experience, getting to know the guys. We had a shortened preseason, so this is like an added bonus for us to really connect with one another on a deeper level. So yeah, I think it has been paying off, connecting off the field as well as on in training.
That sounds pretty ideal. Like you get to, join this really cool new project in Peterborough, and also you get to spend all this time at a cottage on a lake in the Kawarthas. That sounds pretty ideal. I have plenty of questions I want to ask about ECFC, most of which I'll ask later. But the club, it's a brand new club this year, and they said openly, like, hey, we specifically have CPL aspirations. So you just played in the club's inaugural home opener, which was played in front of more than 1,500 fans, which is a League One Ontario record. And I would imagine at that level, that's got to be just like a record across Canada. I should point out that it's actually more than what two CPL clubs have been drawing lately. I just want to ask, like, what was that night like for you playing in that home opener?
Yeah, it was a really phenomenal experience. I've had the pleasure in my career playing in front of large bases of fans, And the atmosphere in this stadium was amazing. They really brought the noise, not just our supporters section, which they're amazing, but the entire stadium, everyone who came out, they rallied around the club, around the team, and you could feel that on the field. And whether it's 10,000 people or 2,000 people, like it's the support that you get from those fans, it means so much to the players, and it yeah it helped fuel us to get our first win of the season as well, which was really significant and important for us.
Fantastic. So, I want to get to know more about you. And the first question I ask everyone on the podcast is, how did you, Zach, first get into soccer?
Yeah. So I grew up in Ottawa, Bayshore, Nepean area, Bells Corners. And my dad actually grew up in Ottawa as well as a player. Highest he played was around the provincial level. But both he and my older brother really kind of mentored me in the game, and did so in a way that always brought joy to me. It was never forced on me. And essentially throughout, childhood and into my teens and even till now, I just love playing the game, and it's never felt like a job. So the moment it feels like work, I might be done. But I grew up just playing club level in Ottawa, going to soccer camps that were partially run by my father, and that was sort of the key environment for me to start developing as a player. Just getting lots and lots of hours on the soccer field at soccer camps, and then eventually progressing into a bit more of a serious career.
Growing up in that part of town, I think we can definitely call that, West Ottawa. Did you have any favorite hangout spots in that part of town?
Yeah, I mean, aside from the local soccer fields,
Of course, yeah.
going to Bayshore to the movie theater there, going to Canada, there were, some youth dance nights in Canada where, after all the soccer training, still going out and getting to spend some time relaxing and hanging out with friends. And I'm trying to think of any specific restaurants in the West End that are really significant to me. I like a lot of places downtown, but yeah, in the West End, it's not as great. Like, I mean, near Bayshore, there's good shawarma places, but yeah, I prefer going down to the Glebe or maybe Chinatown to get some good pho or something like that.
Yeah, that's completely fair. There's not too many high-end restaurants in Canada. Do you remember a point growing up when you decided that you wanted to take soccer like a bit more seriously and maybe pursue that as a career?
Yeah, I think when I first got scouted to go participate in a tryout in Brazil, that's when I first got a taste of what it's like to be in a pro academy environment. And as I returned home from that, I had a successful trial. It got extended to 2 months to 6 months. Didn't end up getting a pro contract, but that was definitely a jump off point for me, realizing what it's like to start pursuing something that you're passionate about, and to see that there are pathways around the world to play the beautiful game for a living. And at the time there weren't a lot of opportunities growing up in Ottawa or in Canada at the time. So it was a good opportunity for me to see that it is possible, and to have a tangible piece that was missing at a young age for me, which of course nowadays in Canada, there's a lot of easy motivation for younger players because there are pro teams in a lot of these big cities now. And yeah, so for me, it was good inspiring piece of my life to have that experience in Brazil. And then from that point on, I knew I wanted to continue playing soccer at the highest level that I could, and sign a pro contract.
Yeah, I mean, not many Ottawa players can say that, they spent 6 months playing with a Brazilian club. So I'm curious, like, how does an Ottawa boy get attention from, a club in Brazil? And like, what was that experience like? How is it kind of different as a footballer playing in Brazil compared to playing in North America?
Yeah. So there was a scout that came from Brazil to Canada. He actually coached my youth team. I believe we were playing under Nepean City at the time, but yeah, he kind of pulled a group of players from the Ottawa area and invited them out to trial. And I was one of the lucky ones to be invited back and have that be a bit more of an extended period. So when that extra invite happened, I actually stayed with a Brazilian family, one of the players on my team there. And the experience in the culture was amazing, learning the language, and just being immersed in just football in, a country that you might say is just the football country. But yeah, it was fantastic experience.
So they speak Portuguese there, right?
Right.
Do you remember any of that? Like, are you still able to, speak any Portuguese?
Yeah, so I can speak Portuguese better than I can speak French or
Really?
even German. I spent a few seasons playing in Germany. Yeah, I don't know exactly what happened, but I think just my desire and my love for that culture, it made it really easy for me to speak it and learn the language. And I actually ended up using it when I played in Portugal for a short amount of time, but it actually became helpful when I was playing in Portugal for a short amount of time. I got to bring back the Portuguese knowledge, so that was really helpful too.
Right on. Yeah, so it's common when players have a pro career that lasts more than a few years. It's pretty common to travel around a bit, but you seem particularly well traveled. Would you mind telling the good listener where your career has taken you, and maybe tell us where your favorite place to live has been so far?
Yeah, for sure. So I came back from Brazil, played in Canada for Ottawa Fury in the Super Y League, U17. And then that took me to getting a full scholarship to the US in Indiana. And after that, that's when I really started my pro career. So I went to Germany, played for two teams there. And I joke, I brought my partner to Germany and she really didn't enjoy her time there. And she said she wanted two things: somewhere warm and somewhere where they spoke English. And so we chose Australia. So I ended up playing in the second division of Australia for two teams there as well. And then went back to Germany, then went to Portugal. And then that's when I had my opportunity with Las Vegas Lights in the USL Championship. And from that point, I caught wind of, the CPL and everything that was happening in Canada. And also, my partner wanted to come back and sort of settle down and plant some roots back home in Canada. And so made the strategic move to play in League One Ontario in 2018 for the second half of the season with Vaughan, and did a good job with that. We won the league, and I thought I was positioned well to join the CPL. For a variety of reasons, things didn't really align with me playing in the CPL, and I've stayed in League One for a few years now, and I've had quite a successful time. I've since 2018 only lost 2 games from the various teams that I've played for. I've made it to the championship finals 2 times, winning it once. Winning the league once with Oakville Blue Devils, and now I'm here with Electric City, and it's, a championship team, and the league has improved drastically. But this team just seems to hold themselves to this new high standard, and they're pushing the standard for the entire league. So it's a great thing to be a part of.
Yeah. So, so joining Electric City, like, how did you get involved? Like, did you approach them? Did they approach you? Like, how did that connection happen?
Well, I knew that the club was doing their thing. I think a lot of people in the soccer community in Canada had caught wind of what Electric City was doing. So I definitely put my feelers out to the owner, months and months ago, just letting them know, hey, like, this is something really, really cool. Would love to connect on it. And then a few months later, got a call looking to connect and build a team. And I was, one of the lucky few to get a spot on the roster. And yeah, now we're here.
As someone, has got kind of like the inside view on it. Like, what have you been seeing that has really impressed you about the organization?
I mean, I could say everything, honestly. Just the way that Rob and the community of owners and the coaches, Jamie and the staff, they're just doing such a great job checking all the boxes and holding themselves to a professional standard. And it rubs off on everyone else that's working for the club, all of the players. And there's this, just integrity and ambition that, it's just a great thing to it's something that makes you want to be a part of it, and it makes you want to be better alongside them. So it's just a really, really awesome organization from the ground up. Very impressed by it, and that's a big reason why a lot of these players are here. It's because they believe in the vision, they believe in everything that has been kind of laid out. And last weekend with our home opener, it really, it was like everything came together and proved that this was a good bet. And that Peterborough is ready for a pro soccer team.
You've played in plenty of pro teams. Does Electric City have the feel, from a player's perspective of playing for a fully professional side?
Yeah, I mean, when I went and played in Las Vegas, it was their inaugural season as well. And I was just reminiscing with Jamie, our head coach, about, they, just like any first season team, you're going to have your mistakes or a couple of things that you're just not aware of that you have to adjust, and just learning experience as a new club. But Electric City has done a great job of either minimizing those learning opportunities, I guess, or they've just been masking it so well that they're really just exuding this very, very professional character, I guess we'll say. And that goes straight through to the training sessions, to how we're in the gym, the periodization, the structure, the way they support the players with recovery. It's a very classy experience. And a lot of the younger players, that haven't been in a pro environment, this is just amazing for them to be up and coming soccer players and get this experience in Canada, and not needing to travel abroad to get an experience like this.
So a lot of the Canadian soccer world has had their eyes on Electric City, but also Simcoe County, a little down the road, both new League One Ontario sides, and both have made it very clear that they both want to be in the CPL. Would you say that the team sees Simcoe County just like any other team, or is July 23rd against Simcoe kind of circled on the calendar a little bit?
Great question. I think every game we're definitely taking it game by game, week by week. I mean, we're still 17 days old in terms of when we first started training together, something like that. So we're really focused on the process and just taking it one game, one pass at a time. And yeah, all of these teams, they're going to be challenges in their own ways. Just like our first match against Guelph, the former champs, being able to get a tie away, get a point off of them was huge. And unfortunately in that match, I split my eyebrow open and got 8 stitches. So I had to sit out our second match. But yeah, there's every game, it's going to be a challenge and a new opportunity for us to step onto the field and show the Electric City brand of football that we want to play. And whoever the opponent is, we're going to, show up and do our best.
Yeah, I forgot about that. So, this is only going to be in audio format, but I can see it right now, and the eye looks good. Is it pretty much healed up?
Yeah, we're all good. I've been told that, scars add a little bit of attractiveness. So it's healed up under the eyebrow. I'm very, very pleased with how fast it did recover. Of course, I don't like to miss out on playing any games, but it was a coach's decision to not put me in a situation where I could split it back open. And I totally respect that move. But I was happy to be back on the pitch in time for our home opener.
Fantastic. Okay. Well, Zach, you've been really generous with your time. I just have a few quick questions if you don't mind.
Absolutely. Hit me.
All right. What's your favorite sport besides soccer?
Table tennis.
Table tennis. I was not expecting that. I've not gotten that answer before. Do you have one at the cottage?
We don't, unfortunately. There's been some talk from some players who they think they're pretty good, but I did my time in college and university in the US, and I think I've honed in on my table tennis skills enough to surprise a couple people.
Okay, right on. What is your favorite soccer field in Ottawa to play on?
I haven't played on it very often, but the West Ottawa soccer fields that they just made, in the last 5 years or so, I really like the facilities there. Wesley Clover. And shout out to my dad, actually, who he's been working at Wesley Clover for the odd summer for the past couple of years, helping run those operations there. So yeah, he's keeping it clean and having a good time there too.
Fantastic. That's awesome. Who has had the biggest impact on your career so far?
Split between my father and my brother. And I'll say my brother, who was 2 years older, he played soccer in Ottawa. At one point, age 15, 16, he was a top striker. And having him sort of challenging me and mentoring me and never letting me win against him always challenged me to be better. And, there was a long time when I wouldn't say that I was a better footballer than him. I think nowadays, I've surpassed him, and I'm very, very proud of that because, he was just a great player, and really appreciated just how he helped support me throughout my development.
Who is the best player that you've ever played either with or against?
Great question. I don't have photographic evidence of it, but when I was in Brazil, I did play against the U16 Santos team. And that was the year that Neymar was still on the team. So there's the potential of me playing against Neymar. Playing with at Las Vegas. If you're familiar with Freddie Adu,
of course,
the former US Wonder Kid. It was really awesome to play alongside him, especially because when I was a kid, I cut out his player card off of a Cheerios box. So that was awesome. But I also have to say I've had the great opportunity to train with the Canadian national team a few times over the past couple of years, just as a supportive role, not in the actual lineup, but being a part of that organization and playing alongside players like Hutchinson, Davies. That's world class right there.
What's the better halftime snack, oranges or watermelon?
Oranges.
Okay. You know what? I've been a little surprised asking this question because I thought everyone would say oranges, but it's been kind of half and half. So that's been kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean the watermelons are amazing, but just the nostalgic feel for me is the oranges.
Okay. Okay. So you're in Ottawa, say like the Byward Market. It's like, 11, maybe getting close to midnight, and you're getting a little hungry. Are you looking for the nearest poutine stand or shawarma?
It would definitely be shawarma, but if I'm down there, I would also, my guilty pleasure is a Nanaimo bar. So when I get, if I'm out late and it's 10 p.m., I turn into an animal with food. So that's why I try and get home and get to bed by 9. But if I'm out at night, man, Nanaimo bars, I would just crush those.
That's so funny. Like I have a late night sweet tooth as well. Like if there's like a Tim Hortons that's like open late I'm on the way home, I'm definitely stopping there.
Yeah, it's as an athlete, I definitely try to eat as healthy as possible. But that's one thing you got to know about yourself is if you have a sweet tooth, take care of that.
That's it. All right, Zach. Zoom is going to kick us off pretty soon, so I'm going to end it there. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.